Welcome to Cover Slaves, so we play 30k, and we're playing 30k again.
Oh, Titanicus now.
Not Titanicus, 30k. We'll play Titanicus next week. With me is Clarence and Matt, and they're both having 2,500 points of their respective armies. What'd you bring today, Matt?
My Blood Angels, because that's all I have done for now.
What's new today with Blood Angels?
That you guys will see. Another
Plasma.
Javelin. I got a Plasma Executioner.
Warmonger?
With assault cannons.
Oh, yeah.
And 10-man tactical squad.
Good. Clarence, what you got?
I have Iron Warriors.
Yeah.
And my new stuff is Last Cannon Havocs, Herald, Centurion. Yeah, that's it.
Cool.
That's the new stuff in that list.
Sweet. So 2,500 points, 4 objectives, short table edges, if I do recall. I believe Clarence won the roll off for deploying and going first.
Yeah.
So we will be back after deployment, or both armies, and then we'll do deployments. Because we probably should do armies.
So this is my 2,500 points of Blood Angels. Today it's being led by Sanguinius, who's taking the Spear of Toletso, because Forge World broke him and didn't give him dual weapons. I'm running the Day of Revelation Rite of War, so I have 2 10-man tactical or assault squads that each have melta bombs. Then both sergeants have artificer armor and a power axe. I brought a 10-man tactical squad today. The sergeant has artificer armor and a power axe as well, as long as a melta bomb, and they're riding in a dedicated rhino. Then we have our 5-man tactical support squad. 4 plasma guns and a combi plasma, close combat weapons for the unit, and the sergeant has artificer armor and a power sword. One of my favorite units so far is the Angel Tears. We've got 6 today. They all have melta bombs. The sergeant has a power axe, and we're taking an assault cannon with a suspension web. Oh, that was a mouthful. Rounding out today for my compulsory fast attack with Deep Strike is my Javelin Speeder with multi-melta and las cannon. No hunter killers today for either of them. I have a command Damocles Rhino. I also have my Centurion with my jump pack, artificer armor, and a power sword because I ran out of points. I also am bringing a Warmonger today. He has Tartarus Terminator armor, which isn't a big problem because he comes with an iron halo. He also has a Volkite Charger and a Blade of Perdition. Rounding up my heavy support choices today, we have the Fire Raptor with Reaper batteries and Hellstrike missiles, tried, tested, and true. And you guys are now seeing the completed Plasma Executioner with Assault Cannon webs because I'm Blood Angels, great 35 points. And it also has Machine Spirit today, just in case I gotta move up 12 and blast with it. And that's 2,500 points.
2,500 points of Iron Warriors. There's no Rite of War. So in this list I have a Herald who has to be the Warlord. He has Master of Ambush. And then he has just Artificer Armor and Melta Bomb. I have a Centurion. He's got Artificer Armor, Melta Bomb. Nothing else. I have 20 Tactical Marines. They have extra hand weapons. The Sergeant has Artificer Armor, Power Fist, Combi Melta. Second troop choice is 10 Breachers. I have Combi Melta, Artificer Armor, Melta Bomb, and a Breacher Charge, and then 2 separate Melta Guns in the unit. I have 5 Last Cannon Havocs with Auger Scanner, Artificer Armor on the Sergeant. 5 Autocannon Havocs with the same thing on their Sergeant. 5 Cataphracti Terminators with Chain Fists and Combi Bolters. 5 Tyrants with their stock, because I have enough. 5 Veterans with nothing. They have nothing. They have a Rhino. And then I have a Legion Glaive that has Shrapnel Bolts because it's free. And it has the Quad Last Cannon sponsons. And that's my 2,500 points. Alright, so this is the Iron Warriors deployment. I won the role for both picking sides and deploying / choosing to go first. So I deployed my Glaive kind of in the middle, bit of a firing line. I have Havocs on the bridge with the last cannons. I have Havocs in the tower with the auto cannons. And then I have Terminators kind of like backing up the Glaive in the rear with the Centurion. And then with Master of Ambush, I infiltrated this whole mess down on this end. I have Tyrants trying to hunt his tankuses. I have a blob of 20 tacticals with the Herald joined to them, kind of on the objective. Then Breachers holding the rear of the column, more or less.
3 big units.
Yeah, taking up lots of board real estate. And that's my deployment, and I'll see you in reserves. So my only reserves is the unit of veterans and their Rhino in normal off-the-edge reserves.
So my deployment is very, very short. We have our Damocles Rhino in the building here. It was out of line of sight for everything until a massive army of infiltrators came up. And we have our Plasma Executioner here. Haven't had too much place to put anything. Not much cover on my end. And that's all my deployment, so I'll see you in my reserves. So here's the rest of my army. We have our Centurion who joined up a assault squad. They'll be deep striking in. Same with my other assault squad, turn 1, due to jump packs and Day of Revelations. Sanguinius joined the Angel Tiers. I found that to be a pretty effective combo so far. My Warmonger has joined my Plasma Support Squad, conferring them deep strike. So that was a little tactical thing on my part. And the 10-man tactical squad will be coming in regular reserves. And then finally, also in regular reserves, is the Fire Raptor and the 2 Javelins, who will be outflanking, but not the Fire Raptor.
This is the end of Iron Warrior turn 1. A pretty fast turn since Matt hit a lot of his things. I moved up 6 inches with my Tyrants and shot at his Predator. I managed to shake it and do a hull point. Just from them, just one hull point. So, alright, shook it, so you can only shoot one gun at full ballistic skill. Everything else over here just kind of moved up 6 inches, spread out a little. Moving over here, the tank moved and shot with its left-hand quad last cannons at his Predator and did a glance and did a second hull point to it. He failed his cover save, and again, just some slight movement from the Terminators, and yeah, that was it. So, see you at the end of Blood Angel turn 1.
That's the end of Blood Angels turn 1. All my jump pack reserves came in for my Day of Revelation Red War. So we'll start, with them, I guess. So I had my first squad deep strike out of Auspex range. I've been bit really hard in the past for that. Been talking with Cleary a bit, so I'm trying to learn some of my mistakes that I've had in my last few games in with Garrett. So I ran them out because I've got the glaive coming down the street one way or the other. I got my second 10-man squad. They deep struck as well. Bolt pistol into the tactical squad. I killed a few. Along with the orbital bombardment from my Damocles Command Rhino, which stayed stationary because really there's nowhere it's going to go. The Predator moved up. I shot the machine-spirited Plasma Executioner into the Breachers. Killed off...
half, I think.
3?
5 out of 10, Cleary?
Yeah, 5 out of 10. The guy was able to look out through all of his rolls. My Executioner isn't going to last long. I've got all those, Iron Hat or Tyrant Terminators there, and with one hull point left, so I'm just seeing what I can do with it. It's a high priority tank because it puts out a shit ton of damage for 190 points. Sanguinius and his boys deep struck right next to the Iron Havocs. Out of range, they can't see, and they were assault cannoned into the Breachers as well, but didn't do any damage. I'm trying to keep a whole bunch of options open, so we're going to see how turn 2 plays out. It's pretty critical. That's my turn.
This is the end of Iron Warriors turn 2. It was a little more eventful than last turn, so we'll start.
Reserves are in?
Yeah. First thing first was my reserve came in, and I moved and then flat outed it. So it's up there. These guys, I think, they moved a little further. Not much happened with them. I moved my tank up, and I split fire because it's a super heavy. So the last cannons and the heavy bolters targeted the Predator, and they wrecked it.
First blood?
Yeah, for first blood, and then the carronade hit 4 assault marines and then deflagrated to kill a total of 7. And then we'll go back over here. So I shot with my Terminators, the Tyrants, They destroyed the wreck, and I split fire with my sergeant to do frag grenade or frag missiles onto the assault squad. I could barely see there. I did like 4 wounds past them all. However, my tactical Marines using for the Legion managed to mow down like half of the squad, or 4 guys or something like that. So that's pretty cool. And finally, the Breachers, they took some pot shots at Sanguinius' unit. So, the Havocs, they were able to see 2 of the remaining 3 Assault Marines. They killed those 2, and the last guy failed his leadership test and is now running away. So, pretty decent turn 2 for me. See how turn 2 for Blood Angels goes.
So that's the end of Blood Angels turn 2. All my reserves but my Warmonger and Plasma Sports Squad came on. So we'll start with the Javelins, I guess. So they came in on the outflank. They both came in on the same way. I was out of the 18-inch range for the intercept by the Iron Havocs, because they would really mess those up if they got to shoot them. They did a significant amount of hull points. They did 6 hull points total. I did flub a few rolls. My Assault Marine regrouped, and he ran. Yay. The Command Rhino stayed still. My other 2 incoming units, my Fire Raptor, came on and mowed into the tactical squad here. I killed 7 dudes, I believe. They're fearless, so it doesn't matter. I also Reaper battery 2 units. It didn't make any difference.
Shot there.
Yeah, and here.
There.
And
Terminators.
And my tactical squad came up in the rear with their gear. They shot, did nothing into the Tyrant Terminators. Assault-wise, my Sanguinius killed the Iron Havocs after he vector struck one of the other Iron Havocs. So that was pretty good.
Iron Havoc combo kill.
Yeah, so we'll see how he does. I'm running him by himself. He's a pretty good distraction piece.
You got your guys over there?
Yeah, I've got my Angel Tears. They came in and wiped out the remaining Breachers. I think there was like 5 left. They shot 3 of them and then wiped them in.
6 for
first
consolidation, eh?
Yeah.
Under the floor. Very smart.
And finally, we did the big event was the Assault Squad with their Melta-Bombs. I did not roll well. I only got 2 off, but I did manage to take 4 hull points, which was good. So
It's got what, 3 left?
It's
2 left?
I don't know.
How many, Cleary?
5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
3 left?
We've got 3 left. So we'll see what we can do. But it's a good game. It's back and forth. And we'll come to you at the end of Iron Warriors turn 2. 3, because I can't count.
Iron Warrior turn 3. Lot happened this turn, so we'll kind of start over here. So the first thing I did is I had to tank shop with my tank to get out of base combat contact with his Assault Marines. Because if I hadn't, he could have allocated attacks to the melee phase and killed with the Melta Bombs then. So I tank shocked. He performed Death or Glory and rolled a glance against it, so I had 2 hull points left. I failed to Thunder Blitz, and I killed the guy. But I got out of contact with the unit, snapshotted at his fire after I didn't hit. I then, kind of going across the board with my autocannon Havocs, they were able to see kind of like one of the crew members and like the fin at the top of the thing. They gunned it down with their 8 autocannon shots. Very reliable. MVPs always. And in that space, I then charged in my Cataphracti Terminators. I rolled like a 5-inch charge. I got in. The Power Fists were able, or the Chain Fists were able to punch them all down. They lost 1 guy.
Those jump troops?
Yeah, that's the jump troops and the Centurion. Over here, I moved in. I barely got the charge off, and only because of the +1 from my Herald's banner. And then they moved in. They beat up the Angel Tears, and they suffered a couple casualties in return from the Power Axe Champion.
Then consolidated 6 under the floor?
Yeah. And then finally, over here... yeah, we already covered it.
Oh, sorry.
Over here, I destroyed the Rhino with the Havoc, or the Tyrants, and then charged the ensuing tactical squad that came out. And I lost 2 guys, but again, I beat them all up. They ran off the board, the 4 survivors. So it's looking pretty good for me right now. His 1 scoring model left on the board. But he still has some stuff in reserve. We'll see how it goes. Blood Angel turn 3.
Blood Angels turn 3. A lot happened. So my reserves came in. I deep struck them here within 24 inches of my Damocles. I blew 2 of my guys up with immolating plasma. It wasn't a good roll at all. I only caused 3 wounds. Really, really poor rolling on that. Good news, the Javelin, aka the one that killed, Garrett's Spartan, has now killed the Felglaive 2 of the...
2 VP.
Yeah, it caused like 3 or 4 hull points with its explosions and its 2 attacks.
Matt's in the lead.
Yeah, whole 2 to 1. I backed up the Damocles. I just wanted it there. I was sitting, getting tired of it.
So ran Buddy down in there.
I ran Buddy. He's hiding it there. He's not
Soul Survivor.
He's not going to move again. Fire Raptor came up, shot into the Iron Havocs. I killed 1. Cleary
2 actually.
Whichever. Clearly made a whole bunch of his saves, 4-ups, and that was good. I shot into the Rhino with the Reaper battery and caused nothing. And Sanguinius charged into the remaining Iron Havocs, wiped them out.
And then hop down.
And then he popped down because I don't want him falling because he nearly got pushed off. That's the end of turn 3. Still a wide open game.
Bottom of end of Iron Warrior turn 4. Starting over here, I moved and ran with my squad of tactical marines and my Warlord. I rolled a 1 for the run, but it adds +1, so it's a 2. Over here, I just kind of moved my tank this way. I shot and then charged his plasma unit. Unfortunately, I didn't kill any with the shooting, and his Blade of Perdition managed to kill 2 of my guys in combat, but I managed to kill 2 back, so we tied combat. And then my tyrants down here, they shot the Damocles and then charged the hull for some extra distance, and they moved up as a result. So that's how it's looking at the end of Iron Warriors turn 4.
That's the end of Blood Angels turn 4. Pretty successful turn. We're starting to turn things around, and it's looking pretty good for me now. So we'll just start with our lone assault marine who survived the glaive and is hiding like a little girl. I hit him underneath. He's away from the Tyrant Terminator, so they won't shoot him. Did all the pre-measuring I had to, so he should be able to still grab that objective provided he doesn't die. The Javelin and the Fire Raptor fired into the Rhino. I managed to destroy it, and the guys came out. They're totally fine. I didn't really have much to do. My Blade of Perdition Warmonger carved up the last Terminator. No, he was just regular Terminator.
Oh, right, yeah.
Blade of Perdition's really good, especially on a Warmonger. Plenty of attacks and with all the rerolls. And then Sanguinius charged into the Legion Herald squad, and probably the best rolling I've done with him. He wiped them out. All hit, all wound, even extra ones.
And that was his leader, too.
That was the leader, so that netted me 2 VPs. So we're going to come to you at the end of Iron Warriors, or Sons of the Sigillite turn 5.
End of Iron Warrior turn 5 was really short. I moved my Tyrants up 6 inches. They fired at the Fire Raptor. Matt didn't think, mathematically it wouldn't work out in my favor.
Shouldn't have.
Didn't jink. Died. And then my veterans fired at the jump pad guy.
And they didn't move because they were already scoring, I guess?
Yeah, exactly. They were already scoring. So
currently you've got...
Currently it's 4-4.
Cool.
So we'll see at the end of Blood Angel turn 5 and the end of the game.
Well, that's the end of Blood Angels turn 5. It was pretty quick. It was just wrapping things up. I moved my support squad and the Warmonger and ran them. So they're claiming that objective. I moved the speeder to contest automatically. We both knew it was going to happen. He ended up shooting us veterans. They killed the 2. Sanguinius threw the spear and failed to wound. He then charged in and blew everyone away with Moon Silver Blade and that. So that's the end of the game.
Give us the score, Matt.
The Iron Warriors scored 1 for First Blood, and I scored 2 for the Fellblade.
Yep.
Or the Glaive, sorry. 3 for the
Objective.
objective, 5, and I scored 2 for the Warlord and who was a Herald. So the final score was 7-1.
Perfect.
We'll see you in our post-game show. Welcome to our post-game show. We're outside because it's 35 degrees. It's sweltering. You totally just watched 2,500 points, didn't skip, of, Blood Angels versus Iron Warriors, because you're good people, as Ben would frequently say.
Oh, yeah.
Butchered. So, Cleary, do you have an MVP?
Honestly, I think my MVP was my Tyrants.
Yeah.
They don't often get it. They get usually outshone by the Havocs, but this game they kind of played a very different role.
That was the first time downing a plane with them? I don't
yeah,
recall
it was in
freshly,
Power
I mean.
Mode.
I
But yeah.
threw that away.
But yeah,
The cocky no jank.
they killed the plane. They killed the. I think they killed the Executioner. I honestly forget what
Yeah,
killed
they
that.
did.
They killed the tactical marines and the Damocles. They killed many.
It's also the infiltrate, right? So it's nice to get them
Yeah.
so deep for once.
Yeah, so that's one of the ways I was thinking of using infiltrate. They worked really well. That was my MVP. What's yours, Matt?
I'm sick and tired of saying Sanguinius. He's a one-man army.
Yeah, he pretty much did all the lifting.
Yeah, he did. He butchered both units of Havocs.
Just the fucking ping pong ball.
Yeah, his high mobility, he gets everywhere where he needs to. He's fucking lethal.
His vector strike was fun.
Yeah,
Like, just the one
the
fucking
one
guy.
hit, just
Like, I'll be back for the rest of y'all.
So
That was funny.
Yeah, Sanguinius was amazing. The Fire Raptor was really good. Yeah, at the end I knew I had won, so I kind of didn't care at that point
Yeah.
and threw it away. If I was in a more tournament-like setting, I definitely would have janked.
That was Titanic as it would have gone nuclear and taken out half the board.
Also the Javelin.
Yeah.
The tag team that took out Felgley, that was nice.
You got to mark him up for that, eh?
Yeah, he's going to get a decal or two. 12 hull points is terrifying, especially when you have infantry and the deflagrate eats through everything with ignore cover at AP2.
Yeah.
So I was happy about that. Much different from the first game that we played with that.
Yeah.
Who's wants to go first for epic fail?
Let's see my whatchamacallums, breachers. They ate firepower. They died.
Cost too much.
They cost too much. They're a filler unit. While I get other things painted,
Yeah.
so I really didn't expect much of them.
We were talking about that too. They're expensive for what you get.
Yeah,
There.
and the role they're filling is compulsory troop, and meat shield, and for 35 more points I get twice the amounts.
Yeah, way more to chew through than two.
And when you're Iron Warriors, that matters, right?
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
you're not
Yeah.
winning.
So that's my epic fail. Everything else did something.
What was yours, Matt?
Probably the Executioner. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't use it. It's 195 points. It's a high priority target because it puts out a fuck ton of damage. Once it's able, on paper, it's able to generate a lot. I prefer taking that over the Arcus.
Yeah.
Because I can do more damage with it, especially with the assault cannons. I find.
I think the main problem in your list is that if these direct fire tanks, but your army's all in reserve turn one.
Yeah.
So it's the only thing that's on the board and it has to have line of sight.
Scorpius would be annoying as
So,
fuck.
Yeah.
If you do drop the Warmonger, that is.
Yeah, the Warmonger was just a try. Don't steal my ideas of deep striking plasma squads.
It's happening now. It's totally
that's
happening.
Fine. Get
That's all I
your own.
have.
But yeah,
I'm unoriginal.
yeah, it's not on the internet already. But that was
Exactly.
definitely my fail. Thoughts on the game?
It's fun. I would
It's
say
close.
it was boring for
Close.
the first two turns, but I didn't have much to do for the first two turns, so it only kind of
Classic denied flank.
well,
It was good though. I mean, it was interesting to see it.
yeah. So it was interesting.
You never see those tyrants that deep. So
Yeah,
it's fuck.
that was different. So that was different. It was cool. I liked how they performed.
Yeah.
It made me think about Master of Ambush as a plan.
But yeah, it worked out well. The driving the tank was pretty reckless, but I wanted to have fun. The second,
It was neat
third
to see
time
it
I
actually.
used
It was.
so. It is what it is. I could have killed the entire unit with this.
It was cool that you left the combat. Like you managed to drive
Well,
out.
I had to, because
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was just neat that you could, right? Like it. Yeah.
and I couldn't turn down the way I wanted to shoot the the javelins because
The turret blocker.
well, no, I would have had to move forward and reverse.
Right, and the tank shock meant you had to go 6
yeah,
one way, right?
The
Yeah.
guys were touching and you can't
Yeah, exactly.
the rules are really wonky. I think I could have, if I had the room to do a flat pivot,
Right.
then I could have by the rules because they get transported with you.
Yeah, it's really
But
contextual.
because I couldn't pivot because it was in the intersection, I had to do a 3-point.
Right.
I had to tank shock to get out of there.
It's AT all of a sudden,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
3-point turn.
Into the DMV for that one.
Oh yeah. Matt, your thoughts on the game?
It was a lot of fun. Cleary's list is really difficult for me because of the intercept
Yeah.
and his board coverage, as opposed to my essentially null deployment. So last game we played, I got manhandled badly.
Yeah.
Wasn't here. It was at my place. Because I deep struck in line of sight of everything, got shot to shit. It was
Right, yeah.
bad. So I'm still learning the army. It's only 5th or 6th game now. I think I've played Garrett once. Other than that,
Yep.
it's Cleary the whole time. We'll play the people. But it was a lot of fun, and the first couple turns were a lot of getting back into it. I'm scratching my nose like I'm picking it all the time. It's just so dry. Because, they just lifted some of our restrictions. Yay, COVID.
Yay.
So it was a lot getting back into it, but it was a nail biter for the first couple turns because it wasn't looking good.
Yeah.
And then Sanguinius does what he does and wrecks face. And yeah.
Cool. Any final thoughts? Any 9th edition shit, whatever?
There needs to be like more information to really judge 9th. It's obviously
Yeah, it's so piecemeal.
My statement for 9th is it isn't worse than 8th from what I've seen, and that's a positive.
That's something, yeah.
That's bad.
Because 8th was dog shit, and you obviously want to improve on awful.
That's
Yeah.
what happens when you revamp the entire game.
But
Oh,
if
yeah.
you if you're really attached to the mechanics of like 7th and lower, particularly like vehicle arcs, line of sight,
Right.
facings, that then the change you're not getting the change you want to see for 9th, then it's
Play
more.
Adeptus Titanicus instead.
Yeah. And if you do like 8th, hopefully you don't get really whiny when there's actually restrictions to do things again.
Yeah, it's
so,
true.
Yeah.
I haven't played 8th.
My condolences.
It's nothing but Horus Heresy. I just don't have
Right.
the time. Got Custodes coming soon. Yay.
Sweet.
I think that's everything.
Yeah, that's everything I
Thanks
got.
for watching, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Gods of war, may your hammer be mighty.